grown man business. Priceless experiences, Napa Valley wine tasting, spoiling my women friends. Sitting at the table with millionaires. The narrative is tax loops, accounts offshore squares. It's not allowed.
What's good? Can you hear me? We had some technical difficulties out there, but are we good? Are we in the building? If you can see me, press one, and if you can hear me, press two. We had some minor technical difficulties, but we back in the building. If everything is everything, can we get to what we do here at Coin Gang? The internet went out for a second, but we back in the building. What's good? What's good? Thank you for your patience and continue to support. But if we are in the building, you let me know. You let me know if the levels are good, and you let me know if you can see me, and then we will blast off for a great build today. I think what we are talking about today can definitely help you. I think you could get over the hump. I think you could take the information and use it. So if we are all good, if you can see me, press one, and if you can hear me, press two. You already know what we do over here. All I need to see that in the chat, and then I'm ready to lift off. But until I see that, welcome to Coin Gang, man. Welcome to the number one place for personal development. There we go. There we go. There we go. Appreciate you. Welcome to the number one place for personal development. Welcome to a ministry for the abstract mind. And I just want to let you know this is a safe space for people with out the box philosophies. I know some of you might have been called weird in your life, felt misunderstood, like no one gets you, but I get you, right? I understand you. And this is a safe space for people with a abstract mind. All right. I want to let you know that it is a time to keep your babies close to your heart. Please keep your babies close to your heart. Please talk to your children, get that aux cord, see what's on their mind. You know what I mean? Please don't have the ageism thing, and their musical taste might not be yours, but give them that aux cord so you can hear. So you need to know what your kids are listening to, right? Talk to them. Don't look for right answers. Look for intelligence. Also, if you got someone in your life that rocks with you, be patient with them. Man or woman, be patient. They're human, right? Like, not saying lower your expectation, but sometimes you don't keep your word to your own self. So they're going to slip and fall, all right? So love them, be patient. Life is short. And don't you for one second think that you can go out in the world and to replace that individual, because your ass is crazy. Listen, today we're talking about trauma tricksters. Trauma tricksters. There are tricksters in the art of trauma. Trauma's a billion-dollar business, maybe even trillions. people hurting and people in pain is worth billions selling it to people, right? And I want to talk about those trauma tricksters today. I want to talk about the dysfunctional agreements that we make. Dysfunctional agreements, the things we allow, the things that we co-sign, the things we give consent to, this dysfunctional atmosphere in our communities, in our lives, in our environment, in our relationships, in our family, in our work life, everywhere in our lives. We agree to that. I want to talk about positive suicide, how to have a positive death, how to kill yourself in a positive way, right? And I want to talk about thought auditing. You know how the IRS audits your finances? Well, I want to talk about auditing a thought. And I want to talk about marrying new ideals. Our topic today is how to divorce negative thoughts and marry new ones. It's a great topic, I think. Hope you agree. Think you will. Because we're in a rush to say, to divorce people. And when it comes to relationships, we say, I just don't want to settle. Have you ever heard that before? I'm sure you have said it many times. I just don't want to settle. You waiting for the perfect woman or the perfect man. They might chew a certain type of way and you don't want to rock with them, or they might do different things, come from a different culture, and you say, you know what, I'm just not happy. I don't want to settle. But what's very interesting is many of us won't settle for people, but will settle for certain mindsets, though. That's okay, right? And a mindset is how we behave. So we're okay with not settling for a man or a woman if they're not perfect. But at the same time, we will settle for the word y'all love to use, toxic mindsets. We'll settle for depression and stress. And we will settle for trauma. We will raise our hand and say, you know what? We've been through so much. We've been through these traumatizing experiences. You feel like you can talk to people any kind of way and conduct yourself any kind of way. And you know what? You can always lean on the fact of this traumatizing experience, this epigenetics. It's in the cells. Your bad behavior and your dysfunction is in the cells. You'll settle for that, but you won't settle for a person that chews funny, or you won't settle for because a person they don't make 100,000, they make 75. That's not good enough. You won't settle for that. You are very picky with that. But when it comes to thinking, when it comes to ideals that don't help you, when it comes to watching gossip, when it comes to gossiping, or when it comes to having a bad attitude and lack of enthusiasm, that's okay. And we're going to talk about that. And where we're going to start is the difference between what to think versus how to think. There's a big difference between the two. You have what to think, and then you have how to think. Everybody is in competition for your attention. They want to control the way that you see the world. I use the infamous they. Who is they? Who's they? They. They don't want us to have something, or they. Well, I want to put a face to they, or I want to give a skeleton to they, because I don't want it to be ambiguous. They is a real thing. Who is they? Educational system definitely wants to control your mind. I was listening to someone recently, and they was talking about how our school system was created by the industrialists. And the industrialists wanted to create a worker class. So the school system wasn't designed to teach the youth about money. What it was designed to teach the youth, or the people in it, even college, was to be good workers, right?
So our education model is based on the industrialist. Who was the industrialist? Andrew Carnegie, Cornelius Vanderbilt, John D. Rockefeller, right? They are the industrialists, and how they crafted our society. They needed workers. What kind of workers though? They needed workers to come do a job and turn their brain off. They created a system, and they didn't need you coming with innovation. They didn't need leaders, they needed managers. This is how the job is done. Come and do it. Well, that's how our educational system is. It teaches us and our children what to think, what to think about the world. You know this because we spit out things we think is facts, but we don't even question it because it's all about right answers. Read this right here, and I'm going to test you, and based on how you test, we're going to call that smart. But this is not necessarily problem solving. In our lifetime, we might see things like coal um, uh, uh, um, disappear. I think we need problem solving in that area, or renewable energy, or what about the question about population and sanitation? Those are problems that need to be solved, right? But instead, we are taught to read things like this and then test on it. Well, we got that from industrialists. So one of the theys are our educational system. It tells us what to think, but not how to think. And it's very interesting that you have people with so many degrees, right? But they're not that smart, right? It's when you get in a conflict with them, they run out of words. Now, these $100,000 degrees has not trained or helped people how to talk to each other. You would think that with all these degrees, getting married would be easy, right? You would think with all these degrees that everybody has, rearing children would be easy. Oh, and better yet, paying rent would be easy. No, 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 no. Budgeting would be easy, right? Because if you're going to pay $150,000, I think you would come out with some skills, right? How to talk to a person, how to budget your money, what to do with your children. What about diet? No, it's not about that. It's about creating a worker class, right? But the bad thing about that worker class is the school is not designing that working class now to manage drones and automation. So that worker class that has spent all this money on education can't do anything in society because now we live in a digital world, right? So that's the first they, right? Because I don't want to just say they. I want to give a skeleton to it. I want to house it. The other they is the religious institutions. The religious institutions give us dogma, right? They also tell us what to think. They tell us what to think about nature. They come up with all these ideals before it was the world is only 6,000 years old. Then it was Adam and Abraham, and these people lived to 90 something years old. But then there's people that are 120 that are living now, and they say those are the oldest people, right? Then they say there's dinosaurs in the ground. Then the earth is flat. No, it's round, right? We argued about that. The nature of God or Satan, and what is the relationship with Satan or the devil with Dante's Inferno, right? What is the relationship with Norse tradition, Viking folklore, and how it's interwoven with Protestant religious concepts? See, we don't ask those questions, right? A person came, died for our sins, and now we are redeemed, right? But we don't know about the Adamites, or we don't know about the priesthoods that studied in Egypt. We don't know about Coptic. We don't know about Gnostic. We don't know about any of those things, right?
because our religious institutions tell us what to think about the world. We don't know about the Knights Templar and how they raided tombs. We don't know about how through warfare certain cultures were basically eradicated off the planet, right? We don't know about different gods. We don't know that the word God is a Germanic word. It means to build mounds, to pour a libation. But we associate God with this higher concept. But the origins of the word wasn't anything higher. So when we say it, we have a meaning in our head, but that's not what the word means. Also, if you are not part of a certain tribe, a word does not hit the same. Like if I was to use, or if you was to use the word hyphy, you ain't from the Bay. When they use it, it's linked up with their DNA. When you use it, it's just a word. Or like being from New York and being like, "What's up, son? What's up, Dunn?" If you're from Queens, right? Or if you're not a nation of gods and earths, right? When you speak the supreme mathematics, if you're not part of that culture, it doesn't hit the same. Well, it's the same way with other languages. So when we use the word God, we think in our mind it's a supreme being, but that wasn't the origin of the word. The origin of the word is to pour a libation. That is the etymology of the word God. And it comes from the Visigoths, the Gothics, right? So we would never know that because we are not taught how to think. We are taught what to think. And this is very important. Who are the other days? The other days are the media. Woo! Very, very, very deadly. I suggest you study a guy named Edward Barnay. He created a book called Propaganda. If you want to understand the media, you have to understand propaganda. Do you know women didn't used to smoke before? Do you know how they started smoking? Well, they created an image of a woman smoking in commercials and it became cool. In fact, do you know the concept of the housewife was also created through commercials? Not the behavior of a woman being married, but her role. You ever seen the 50s movies or shows and the wife is in the kitchen in full makeup and high heels? Well, that was an image that was sold to people coming home from World War II because we started creating more products like washing machines, right? And microwaves and floor models TVs, and the husband had the money. So the wife would tell the husband about all these cool products and then they would spend. But in school, in things like home ec, right? They were teaching classes about domestication, about this is what a woman does. This is what a man does, right? They're telling you what to think. They're not telling you how to think. Because in how to think, you're going to go with the best ideals. What if I'm the best cook? What if she's smarter than me with certain things? Right? So you designate roles based on their ability, not gender. Who's the best cook in the house? Who has the best ideals in the house? It might be the children, right? So I suggest you look on YouTube about old home ec domestication films. So the world that we live in and we think it always been like this, no, no, no. It was created from media propaganda. Also, the media is powerful because the media can take an individual that you hate and turn them into an individual that you love. And they could take an individual that you love and turn them into an individual that you despise. Do we have any proof of that? We do. Donald Trump. Why is that important? I seen Donald Trump in Home Alone. Same guy, same ideals, right? He turned into an individual that was hated. Whereas Joe Biden was friends with a man named not Robert Byrd. It was a Ku Klux Klan member. If someone in the chat knows the name, right? And Joe Biden said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Joe Biden said a bunch of other things. But the media, and I'm not choosing side, I just want to tell you how powerful it is. The media is so powerful that depending on what channel you're watching, that's all you know, right? So Joe Biden was good buddies with a KKK guy, right? Even during the presidential debate, Kamala Harris was calling him racist. That was one of her talking points, right? It disappears because that's how powerful the media are. They are magicians. They can take me, somebody that you listen to often, put me on the screen and say a bunch of things about me and you'll believe it. And they could take a person that you can't stand and make you love them. It is like the movie Trading Places, right? That's how powerful imagery is, and that's how powerful the media is. So the media is a buffer that tells you what to think about other people. If they say they're bad, you will say they're bad. If they say someone is good, you will also repeat those same things. We are in bizarro world, right? Now, the topic of today is how to divorce negative thoughts to marry new ideals. But first, we have to understand how we get these ideals in the first place because we are not trained how to think. What else? Culture. Culture tells us what to think. There's only one way to look at slavery. It's only one way, right? There's only one way to look at Africa, right? And it's the way that our culture says to look at it. And if you don't look at it through that same lens, then you are a bunch of names that I won't mention, right? So, if you marry someone the culture doesn't like, there's a problem because the culture feels that it can police your penis, not only and your vagina, but not only that, it can police your mind, right? You have to like hip hop or you have to like whatever specific culture you come from, that type of music. If you look like this and you're into Guns N' Roses, can't really rock with you like that. If you look like this and you don't know how to play basketball, can't really rock you like that. You have to wear the Jordans. You see, I got it in the back of me, right? It's a cultural thing. Immediately, people where I'm from know who that is, right? It gives me a cool factor. But my favorite player is Allen Iverson. That's neither here nor there. But the point is, so culture is also part of the day. What is culture? A set of agreed upon behaviors. And after a while, that agreed upon behavior becomes the norm. It's what we do, it's what everybody understands, and it's policed not by outsiders, but people within the culture. And we know this because when you come and shake things up a little bit, they are on your head. When Kanye said, slavery was a choice. Everybody, even people that don't read books, was like, "That's a you heretic, you Uncle Tom." They called him all types of names, without even saying, "I wonder what he meant by that." Now, if you sat with what he meant and you still came to the same conclusion that he was wrong, that's fine. That means you made an informed decision because you sat with it and you needed more clarity. But you will only do that if you know how to think. But when you operate in what to think, then when he says something like that, immediately your snap reaction is, he's wrong. Get him off the TV. Let's throw him away. Right? But is it a choice? Right? If a person runs, that's a choice, right? Whether you conquer your fear or not, that's a choice. That's what he said, right? So I'm just saying. So because I know how to think, I can wait for more clarity, or I'll watch it in its entirety to gain the context. What was said before that and what was said after that, right? So culture is also part of the they. Corporations is definitely part of the they. Corporations tell you what brand is cool. Drinking Pepsi, if you drink this, it'll up your sex appeal. Like they do Old Spice commercials that don't have nothing to do with sweat, right? A lot of the product placements has nothing to do with the product. Let's, for example, the iPhone, right? Corporations definitely tell us what to think. So much so that the tribalism associated with the iPhone is a class thing. So if you text somebody and that text message don't show up a certain color and you are a Android user, all of a sudden you are associated with a lower class. What if you're just not in the phones? Right? But this iPhone is tribal. It's not even about the phone, it's about class, right? It's about the who is who, because America is all about looking rich, not being rich, looking it. And an iPhone, a new phone, symbolizes status. Think different, be different, right? Those are campaigns. You know what I'm saying? Clubhouse, you couldn't even use it before unless you had an iPhone. Your favorite celebs have an iPhone, right? Everybody you like has an iPhone. Therefore, you're going to do it too. That's not mind control, right? So the negative thoughts that we have is based on mind control. And the they, we have the wrong type of they. We think the they is somebody nefarious behind the scenes doing something sick and twisted. But the they is actually right in our household. The they is our peers. The they is your spouse. The they is anybody that's telling you what to think about something instead of how to think about it. Family. Family is a real influential they, because what mom and dad said holds precedent. If mom and dad says Santa Claus is real, well then it has to be real, right? When it's introduced from family, the concepts land even if they don't make no sense. Racism is taught in the household, right? The concept of inferiority is taught in the household. A child starts out as a clean slate. So when you see an individual, they represent mommy and daddy, right? So all those are theys. Now everybody wants to be a filter to how you see the world. And there's no problem with that unless you begin to ask questions and you begin to ask, or you begin to enter the stages of an awareness of how to think about something. For example, looking at it like this from here to examining it, opening up, seeing what it looks like. You know, we don't teach this to children. We're looking for right answers. We are not looking for intelligence. The right answer is, or the intelligent thing is to open this up and see what it's made of. The intelligent thing is to crack this thing open, because I might be wrong in my assessment of what I'm looking at based on how I think. Now, I'm talking about how to think. What are the different ways of thinking? Y'all with me? All right. There's types of thinking, right? So you can apply these in your relationships. You can apply these in the workforce. You don't have to think about something one way. Look, I think it was I follow Michael Baisden, right? Radio personality, right? So on Michael Baisden's Facebook post, they'll ask questions. Can a woman do this in a marriage? Can a man do this in a marriage? And when I go look at the comment section, everybody comments the same exact way, that if something happens in a marriage, this is the way you're supposed to respond. Or if something happens in our life with our family, this is the way you're supposed to respond. Now ask yourself, when something occurs, are you responding with the way you think you're supposed to be respond? So ladies, if your husband or boyfriend gets you upset, is your response based on how you think you're supposed to respond, or are you responding based on what you personally think? Is that even a reason to be upset, or are you upset because you think you're supposed to be upset? Same with guys. So we are living in this group think mentality controlled by all these days that I talked about. But there's ways to think about things. Now, you might be this type of thinker and not know it. These are things that you can apply in your life in real time right now. How to think about something. Something can occur in your life, and instead of saying, well, I just feel like, that's another thing. I just feel like, listen to how people talk. Well, I feel like that means they are not processing nothing that's going on. They are waiting to talk. Well, I feel like they're not saying, right? People will say, well, that's true, but, well, if it's true, that's it. That's true, but so they will confirm that that what you said was the truth. After that, they're going to inject how they feel about the truth, right? I just That's true, but I feel like if it's true, let's move on. All right, so this is 9 types of thinking skills, all right? You have analytical thinking. What does that mean? Analytical thinking skills, your ability to analyze a given problem or situation step by step. You perform a complete analysis of all possible ways to interpret the situation or problem before you. That's big. You perform a complete analysis of all possible ways to interpret the situation before you. How many of y'all do that? Something happens, right? You fall out with somebody, or just relationships. That seems to be the topic that everybody resonates with. Relationships. Okay. When you think about breakups or you think about divorces, did you perform a complete analysis of all possible ways to interpret the situation or problem before you? I'll give you a great example, right? You find a number in your partner's pants or in the partner's phone. You find out that the person is sleeping with another person. Immediately, you feel disrespected. Is there another way to look at that? I wanted to come with something that hits directly home, right? You feel mad, you feel angry, right? How could you do this to me? How could you do this to us? In some cases, people say, how can you do this to our family? I'm taking your children. Okay, so an individual, male or woman, had relations with another person. Okay. The way that it's processed is, how could you do this to us? How could you do this to me? How could you do this to the family? It's over. I'm taking your children. Right? Now, is there another way to look at this situation? I wanted to go to the most extreme thing because to be so technologically advanced, we still have very, very primitive emotions. And we all respond to things the same exact way. But now I have to chunk down on it. Means I have to get into the details. Okay, did they really do something to you? I know we would want to think that, but did they really do something to you? Okay, the lie. Okay, the lie. Now, then I will ask you, well, are you a person that can be told the truth? Because the truth works a few ways, the one telling it and the one receiving it. So there's a lot of expectation on a person to tell the truth, but there also needs to be big emphasis on the person receiving the truth. Right? Right? Can you receive the truth? Well, I'll answer that for you. Probably not. Here's the test out if you can receive the truth or not. Go on YouTube and watch a health documentary to see how your food is made. Actually, see what happens to animals in the process. If you can't watch how your hot dog is made, how your hamburger is made, right? How some of your favorite food is made. If you can't watch that, you can't handle the truth. I'll do you one better. You got a cell phone, right? There's a thing called cobot in it, right? Find out where cobot comes from. If you can't handle the fact that cobot comes out of the ground of third world nations, and those areas are dirt poor, you can't handle the truth. Or what about when you're eating watermelon in the wintertime? How do you think we got the watermelon? Or what about coffee? What about, do you know a lot of these things come from South America? Well, how are the people from those areas doing? You don't want to know. You don't want to know the truth. That's something that you tell yourself. If you found out that humankind was nothing but slime and some type of spark just elevated it and it walked out of the water and it looked very, very ugly when it started, you don't want to know that. You just think you just started angelic and the original man just looked looked like Shamar Moore. You just no, this doesn't start like that. So do you really, really want to know the truth? Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you? So I wanted to start in the relationship area because I know that's something that we all relate to with a partner and they don't do what we want them to do. Now I want you to think about this because the analytical thinking. So let's apply analytical thinking to our love. Do you love based on people doing what you want them to do? Is that how you love? So if you say you love me, is it because I'm doing what you want me to do? Or do you love me because of me? Because of the way that I am? And it really has nothing to do with you. Or is your love for me based on the fact you're controlling what I do? Well, if I don't do what you want me to do anymore, do you still love me? That's an important thing. Think about that second. Because listen, analytical thinking is what? You perform a complete analysis of all possible ways to interpret the situation or problem before you. So have you did a complete analysis on your love? Hmm. Think about that. All right. Number two, divergent thinking. In short, divergent thinking skill is go diverse. Conclude with one that works. Divergent thinking involves exploring all possibilities and viewpoints to find the appropriate situation. First, you begin gathering related facts, data, references from all sources. You analyze and apply logic to find the relevant possibilities among them. You pick the one that stands out and seems to be precise to solve the problem. Man, that is powerful. You know why? So when you look like me, right? Everything shuts down once a person says, "Oh, that individual doesn't like black people." Once that's said, every single thing about them is dismissed, even if they have some information that I need. I can't take it because they're a nationalist or they don't like black people. Now, here's a way for divergent thinking. Um, that don't mean that the individual don't like me. See? Because guess what? I don't like all black people. I don't like all of anything. That's divergent thinking. I'm going to go with the thing that works. So in this culture, once someone says, yeah, that individual, they don't like black people, that means I too have to put that book down. I'm not allowed to read it because they don't like other people. That don't got nothing to do with me. How about they might not like them over there, but love the hell out of me? Is that possible? We know it is because parents do that. You you love a child a little differently than everybody else. And notice that divergent thinking was like analytical thinking. It was about the possibility, right? It is about the possibilities, right? First, you begin gathering related facts, data, or references from all sources. You analyze and apply logic to find the relevant possibilities among them. You pick the one that stands out and seems to be the precise to solve the problem. How many of you did do that? Or do you say, well, I just feel like, well, I just feel like, well, I just feel like, well, now I got a real question for you. If the way that you see the world and you communicate with others is based on how you feel, then how do you know that you have trauma? How do you know that's what it is? If the way that you see the world is based on how you feel, how do you know you're oppressed? Because you're looking at it only from one way. Remember, analytical thinking. You perform a complete analysis of all possible ways to interpret the situation. Did you do a complete analysis on you saying that you had trauma, or did you allow trauma tricksters to tell you that you're broken and you have trauma? Hmm? Did you gather all the related facts, data, references from all sources to call it that? You analyze and apply logic to find the relevant possibilities among them. You pick the one that stands out and seems to be precise to solve problems, or you feel like you have a trauma, or you feel that you're oppressed, or you feel that it's systematic racism, right? Did you compile every single thing, or did a charismatic individual tell you how to look at the world that way? Remember who the theys are: educational institutions, religious leaders, the media, culture, corporations, family, our peers. They tell you what to think. Oh, because they don't like a certain type of people in China. What if they just didn't like that person? You see? You see? All right. On to number 3. Convergent thinking. Convergent thinking is about connecting all the dots. You connect scattered thoughts, data, standpoints, or related information and put together one big picture. Convergent thinking is a key thinking skill we need in life. Let's read that again. Convergent thinking is about connecting all the dots. You connect scattered thoughts, data, standpoints, or related information and put together one big picture. Convergent thinking is a key thinking skill we need in life. Do you use that? Or do you say, well, I just feel like? Well, I just feel like. Well, I just feel like. Because when you just feel like, you're not gathering any data, right? Because when you just feel like, you're not getting any information because you feel. And feeling is a very, 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 very personal thing. You feel something, but is it true? Is the something that you feel real, or is it a feeling? Well, the thing about feelings, they're very fleeting. And one minute you can feel a certain type of way, and another minute you don't. How do we know this is true, y'all? Have you ever been super in love with somebody on Monday, and then by Saturday, you're like, over it? That's a feeling. That's how feelings work. One minute you're like, oh my God, it's head over heels. Oh man, this is the one for me. And then the next, man, see how feelings work? Truth is not like that. Truth is the truth. Monday, Sunday, January, February, March, April, May, it don't matter. That's the truth. All right? Number four, critical thinking. It covers 7 steps like identifying, gathering, analyzing, interpreting, establishing, deciding, and communicating the problem. Hey, I need y'all, the people that really, really rock with this corn gang thing, that really that really adhere to out the box philosophy. I need you in your day to day with the people in your life to use these techniques to solve problems, identifying, gathering, analyzing, interpreting, establishing, deciding, and communicating. Don't feel. Your feelings are for the environment. For example, hey, uh, uh, we don't got no map right now. We're lost. What direction should we go? Use your feelings for that to tell us where to go and how to navigate. I know, but I don't know how I know. I just know. That's where your emotions is. Use your emotions for animals, right? You know how animals sense weakness? What they're going off is your emotions, right? And because the emotions is out of alignment, you can't just walk up to a wild animal and pet it. Right? Okay, moving right along. Creative thinking, imagination, and creative proceed here instead of logic and reasoning. Well, that's more for an artist, right? So sometimes I use creative thinking to dissect the situation. Like when I get calls on my hotline, 888-565-8734, shameless plug, one more time, 888-565-8734. When I get a call and someone is telling me about what their spouse did, sometimes I run it through my creative thinking filter. And then I always ask them, is it really that? What you're saying it is. How do you know they don't like you anymore? Well, because they were flirting with who? With what? A human? And then my next question is humans attracting traction with each other? Is it natural? Yeah. Okay. So if that's natural, then why are you surprised that they did something natural? Well, because they're not supposed to. My next question, have you done things you weren't supposed to do before? Yes. So why do you expect a different result out of another human? Well, I just don't like it. The brain turns off, right? Because if we look at things from a different lens, a lot of our relationships could be saved. We put ourselves through a lot of hell operating just in our body. But I get it. We were told what to think, not how to think. Okay, cool. Abstract thinking. This is totally me. Abstract thinking is like abstract art or painting. Change your normal perspective to see what is being portrayed. Find out the hidden meaning. See the actual truth behind the false truth. That is totally me all day. I'm an abstract thinker. What like when I say what does this look like or what does this really mean, I'm not talking about the surface thing. I'm talking about the deeper thing. They say it's 3 sides to the truth, his or her and the real truth. That's the surface truth, right? I'm interested in why is that happen. I'm interested in why a person likes what they like. I'm interested in cause and effect. So before I come to a snap judgment, I like to sit with something. So what I'm showing you is what I study behind the scenes. So that's why, and when it comes to content creation, sometimes I'm not the first to cover a story because I need to look at it for what it is. And then I can't cover every story because y'all sensitive as hell. And I know even people that follow me, if you really knew how I thought behind the scenes, we couldn't be around each other because I'm way more raw and I'm way more objective and I'm way more cold. But this is how I have to spruce it up because I understand, people can't spit out the bone, right? So I'm definitely abstract thinking. What kind of thinker are you? And you don't have to be one. You can use these in and out when you need to. That's what makes it great. It's not one way to look at it. It's a couple ways. You might need to see it creatively, right? Or number 7, concrete thinking. What is that?
As the name suggests, concrete thinking is factual thinking. Only facts, nothing else. A concrete thinker will approach everything with facts, data, and solid knowledge. It is the opposite of abstract thinking, right? So sometimes here's where I may get in trouble if I stay in the abstract, because I might be looking over things, and sometimes in abstract thought, sometimes we can be so abstract that we can create a meaning that is not there, right? So this is why it's important to like go abstract and then go into concrete. Like concrete thinking is like this. If you I'm telling you what the facts are, the data is. And if you notice in conversations, you never really get to that. People are animated. Yeah, man, I got into it with this person. And I was like, man, I'm telling you, you better stop talking. See, they'll go into the animation. They're not talking about what happened. Okay, it was a car accident. Talk about the car accident. You turned the corner, got hit. That's what it was. Okay, whose fault was it? I don't know, because when I got out the car, I had to tell the end of it. They talk about the theatrics. They talk about how they feel about what happened instead of what happened. Especially people come where we from. The story be hella animated. You there 4 hours and you didn't get you didn't get to the damn story. Only how they felt about the story or felt about what happened or the fact that they got into it had to smack somebody. Look, sequential thinking. You think and process in an orderly sequential manner. You don't deviate. You process step by step, i.e., you can go to the second step only after the first step is complete. Every step is interconnected sequentially here. I'm this in a certain space that I can't talk to you about because y'all hella judgmental. But there's a way that I think, right? In sequential thinking, where everything you tell me, it has to be in order. Or there's a movie called The Accountant with Ben Affleck, right? And he's an assassin, but he has autism, right? So in the movie, he can't start a job and not finish it. He's maniacal, right? So there's okay. If you tell me a story, you have to tell me in order because I will stay up for 5 days straight trying to piece this story together, right? Because I see words. So if you tell me something happened and you miss a key detail, understand that could throw me off and put me in a bad space for like 6 months. That's how maniacal it is when I hear things. All right. And lastly, holistic thinking. You go straight for the big picture and then you connect everything. You go straight for the big picture and then you connect anything. So these are 9 ways of thinking. I'll throw these in the chat for anybody that wants to come back and check these out. And I want you to identify what is your primary thinking method. Also, even create scenarios in your life where you can bounce in and out to use these techniques. See, this is how to think, not what to think. You see the difference? This is about how to think about something, not what to think about something. Very, 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 very different. They're not the same thing. All right? So I want you guys and girls to use these things in your everyday life. All right? So we moving right along. We are moving right along. So also, quickly, talking points. What are some popular talking points? Oh, okay. I'll give you a good talking point, and I know this was very popular. And this talking point is of a certain kind of people, right? Okay. Um, us black men in America were kicked out of their house because of welfare. That's a talking point. And a talking point is is those that are told what to think about something. Because when you say black men, it's general because it seems like all men,
right? Because we generalize things and we lump them together, right? And then we say, yeah, we were kicked out the home so the woman could get welfare, right? That's a talking point. But me, I practice how to think. So my questions would be, how you get kicked out of something your name is on? Number two, when you got kicked out, where did you go? I would apply who, what, when, and why. Who, what, when, where, and why. Damn, y'all got kicked out the house so the woman could get welfare? Well, the guys that got kicked out, where did they go? Were they homeless? Or did they go to another woman's house? Most likely, if your wifey's on welfare, the person's house you're going to, she's also on welfare, right? And then also, how do you kick individuals out that have their name on their stuff? What does that look like, right? Another thing is, I would apply the who. Who would repeat something like that because culturally it's not very empowering, right? Another one, I'm not, another thing is, and in this culture, this is what they say: Black women are unprotected. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go there because these are cultural things. Protect the black women. Which black women are unprotected? Because Eastern stars are very protected. Women that belong to fraternal organizations are very protected, right? And whose job is it to protect you when they make guns? It is the job of each organism in the world to protect itself, right? So when we say a certain group of people is unprotected, these are talking points, right? So, but when you that and people that repeat those talking points are people that are taught what to think. But when you are taught how to think, you ask questions and you investigate. What does that mean and who is saying it? Because there are women that don't say that. Now, what I would do as an intelligent being, find the women that don't say that and see what works in their life, right? On the flip side, they said the man left the home because of welfare. So what I would want to do is I would want to talk to the men that didn't. Hey, bro, there was a group of men that left the house because of welfare. This is what they said, but you didn't. How about you talk to those guys? Because those guys would have more to offer than to focus on the individuals if it's true. Those that left the house, so they're left their house, left their wife, left their babies, because so she could get welfare, right? I would want to talk to the guys that didn't, right? That's me practicing how to think about a situation. Because immediately when I hear something like that, man, somebody left the house because of welfare, man, then your name wasn't on that. But number one, where did you go? Right? So you went the one welfare house to another welfare house. And she just let you live it. Like, and the males, you're descendants of those guys. Even if that was true, I would vehemently denounce that, man. Not me. Not me. I don't want to say nothing like that. That my grandfather and my uncles and people, males in my family, was like, yeah, man, yeah, man, they at the bar. Yeah, man, shit, man, this bitch, man, yeah, man, she talking about she trying to get some government assistance, it's $30. Fuck that bitch, man, I ain't going back home. With my babies in the house? Man, the police, they gonna have to drag me up out my house. My babies is in there. I'm not hearing none of that. But when you are taught what to think, you will repeat something like that. Or a popular term, the modern woman. Modern woman. What ages are you talking about? You don't know what a woman was doing in 1910, in 1920, in 1930. So when you're saying the modern woman is this, the modern woman is that, those are talking points. And I promise you, no one has put the 9 types of thinking that we was talking about in those places to look at things. The modern woman. The modern woman has something in common. What is it? The modern man. So if the modern woman is drastically different than the woman of old, then by proxy, the modern man is also different. Because guess what? They all go to school together. They all go to church together. They all go to the grocery store, right? The modern woman and the modern man, some of them are brothers and sisters. So they grew up in the same house together. They was at the Boys and Girls Club together. They attend concerts together. So if one individual is not going to go through this dramatic change and the other one isn't, as above, so below, right? That's a way of thinking. So if the modern woman is different, then also is the modern man, right? And I applied one of the laws of hermetics, as above, so below, right? If this woman is starving, then it's a good possibility those men are starving. I can know that without even being there, right? Because things happen in pairs, right? If the bottom of the ocean is freezing cold and has a lot of pressure, right, per square inch, then if you go all the way up, then it's also equally going to do the same thing. That is as above, so below, right? So when I hear a talking point and I hear that the modern woman, the modern woman, the modern woman, okay, it has to be equal with the man, right? So if the woman is different, the man has to be different, right? Now, what they don't want to discuss is how is the man different. Now, they analyzing how the woman is different, but how is the man different? There's no draft. So when we are talking about older men, many served in the military. The modern man hasn't. Also, in the industrial America, we produce things. There was a damn near a guaranteed job for every male, right? It's not now, right? Also, as a man, you could get a wife easy. Why? Because the way that the country was set up, a woman had to go through a man through all of her needs. One more talking point. Women are naturally hypergamous. Men are hypergamous. How do we know this? Because fathers handed their daughters off to men. Women didn't pick. So you got arranged marriages, and then you have a quasi arrangement in America where the father would not let his daughter marry a bum. He decided what was good for her, right? And in a lot of in Islamic cultures, dowries and things like that, it's the male that is hypergamous. Do you know why? Because the male is naturally opportunist, right? The male will associate someone's value by material things. We see it all the time, right? And listen to the talking points. And I'm just showing you on what to think versus how to think. Listen to the talking points. Guys will say that other guys can do better. And what's the metrics? Man, you make all this money. Why are you choosing her? Man, you do this. Russell Wilson. Why are you marrying a baby mama and you're in the NFL? That's hypergamous thinking, right? The guy is choosing that. The guy is saying he's more valuable and he should have better. You see the thinking? See, I look at something from a how to think about this perspective, not by what to think, because I'm not letting no one control my mind. And I'm not looking to write answers. I want to investigate the situation. But these are all talking points. We live in a system of racism. And the people telling you that are richer than you, have more than you, right? But because in a corporate deal, things didn't go their way, a Monique, look at what Netflix is doing to me. Monique ain't on welfare. Monique ain't starving. She gonna be all right. You see how they treating me? You see how they treating us? That's not an us thing. That's a you thing, right? People are in the trenches. So when that deal gets cut, the people in the trenches don't get that. You see? Talking points. We live in a system and it's racist. I never felt that in my life. I'm 37 years old. Any failures that I've had in my life was me making the wrong decision. Me personally. I can't speak for other people's experience, but to say a system? No, we live in a system of class conflict. Because a rich black that has a child that needs a bone marrow or a heart is going to get it before you're a child. A rich black child gets different education than your child. A rich black child is not going through what your child is going through living in the projects. That's class, right? That's why we have something in this culture called the boule. And W.E.B. Du Bois talked about the talented 10th. And he felt that it was 10% that was going to lead the 90. That's class. How to think, right? So remember, when someone is all they have is talking points, they are in a space of what to think about something. They've been told to think about that, and they have not even sat with that. Right? So the way you've been taught to think about the world has been filtered through a term that I want to coin called trauma tricksters. Trauma tricksters. These are tricksters of trauma. Now I want to talk to my Christian family real quick. Because if you are a believer in the faith, you cannot also agree that you have trauma. The trauma tricksters are telling you that the past is the reason your life is the way it is. Race hustlers are telling you that you're oppressed. But if you are a believer in the faith, you can't say things like that. John 8:31. If you hold to my teaching, you are really my disciples. Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. You can't say that Jesus is your Lord and Savior, but you're oppressed. This is Jesus talking to the Jews. If you are a believer in the faith and that Jesus paid the ultimate penalty on your life, you cannot say that you are oppressed. Cannot say that you are a slave. You know why? Because if you hold my teaching, you are really my disciples, then you will know the truth and the truth will set you free. It don't say reparations will set you free. It does not say that legislation will set you free. It does not say welfare will set you free. It doesn't say feminism will set you free or red pill set you free. No, 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 no. He said if you are hold my teaching. He ain't say Kevin Samuels. It didn't say Crystal Kerosene. It didn't say Tasha K. He said if you hold my teaching. Shit, he ain't say Kim Billions. He said if you hold my teaching, you are really my disciples, then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you what? Does it say level up? Does it say divest? What does it say? What is it saying that the truth is going to set you free? Huh? Does it say reparations? Huh? Does it say legislation? Does it say the Constitution? Does it say the UN? What does it say? Does it say more money? Now, this is what you say. This is what you say y'all believe in, right? This is your Jesus. He told you that if you hold my teaching, you are really my disciples. Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. So you got trauma. So it's trauma in you. That's why you can't get over the hump. Then you don't have the truth then, because the truth will make you free of the trauma. Oh, you've been molested, you've been violated. That's bad. That's man, I don't wish that on nobody. However, that ain't a reason why you're doing what you're doing. You know why? Because you believe in the Christ. And if you believe in the Christ teaching, then you are free from those experiences that you call trauma. You are free from that. Those are things that happen, but it has no effect on the way that you're living. Or no. Or that ain't what he meant, Ken. So you're gonna, what's the purpose of believing in a higher power and then saying that you have traumatizing experiences? I thought what happens on earth stays on earth. So you believe in the metaphysical power. You believe in this all-knowing, the great I am, the creator, the master of the universe. And this creator has this divine design over your life. And the creator won't put things on you that you can't bear. That's what you believe. But you got trauma too. If you hold my teaching, you are really my disciples, then you will know the truth. And the truth shall set you free. No, 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 no. No, the manosphere will set you free. The red pill gonna set you free. The feminists gonna set you free. Now, Kwame Brown is gonna set you free. That's who's gonna set you free. They gonna set you free. The shade room is gonna set you free, right? Right? Oh, that's gonna set you free. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You've been tricked by trauma tricksters. I believe people have came in your life to try to love you. I believe people have came in your life to try to seed into you. I believe people came in your life with open arms and meant you well. And you couldn't accept it because you said, well, this is just the way that I am. God knows my heart, right? And you done pushed everybody away. And now you got what you got, right? And you know what you said? You don't know what I come from. You don't know how I got like this. Like what? If you hold to my teaching, you are really my disciples. Then you will know the truth. And what does it say will set you free? Joe Biden? Maxine Waters? What does it say will set you free? Truth will set you free. There is no such thing as trauma. It's just life. Terrible things happen to good people at the worst times. We feel pain, we lose. Man is born, man suffers, and men die. And that's why over here at Coin Gang, we practice one of our constitutional principles is heaven now. Because we're going to experience pain. That's why it's important for us to experience heaven, because we're going to hurt here. We're going to go through it, but it ain't trauma. It's just a bad experience. And we'll get past it and we'll get over it. It's something that happens in our life. Deep pain, deep hurt. I'm with you. I got you. But this too shall pass, though. But the trauma tricksters have you believing that something is wrong with you, that you need intervention with think tanks to try to fix you. Nah, man, ain't nothing wrong with you. It's just part of your journey and part of your chapter. It's part of your journey and it's part of your chapter. And I want to say this, man. If you over there on YouTube and you ain't become a member, So you can go ahead and comment. Boy, y'all tripping over that $4.99? Hey, if we tripping over $4.99, we ain't gonna get no more. I just gotta say it because I felt the spirit. Because I'm spitting. It ain't worth $4.99 a month. If you on Facebook and you ain't hit that monthly subscription on Facebook, what it say? A prophet is not accepted by his own people. Tripping off $4.99. You know how many memberships I'm subscribed to? I'm paying a whole bunch of people. Why? Because it's just money, right? And we want to get more. Yeah, I had to say that because somebody gonna change their life. And they gonna go on and do great things, and they ain't gonna give me shit. Ain't gonna give me a damn thing. Dysfunctional agreements. So it seemed like, Ken, why did you say something like that? Because I know that's a dysfunctional agreement. You know what I'm saying? The $50 right here, right? We hold this motherfucker like this, right? Man, I'm scared to let it go, and that's why it don't come because of dysfunctional agreements, right? No $50, man, right? We be holding on to it, right? The funny thing is, we'll spend this same 50 on the shit that hurts us, right? Spend this on a fifth, right? But the person feeding me the jewels, I ain't putting shit down, right? That's dysfunctional agreements. Let me show you something about dysfunctional agreements, man. Look, the life we are living is based on agreement. Many of the outcomes we have is based on dysfunction. We make poverty okay. Peep this, because this is also one of the tricks of the trauma tricksters. When thou sittest to eat with the ruler, consider diligently what is before thee, and put a knife to thy throat if thou be a man given to appetite. That means if you eating too damn much. Be not desirous of his dainties, for they are deceitful. Let me tell you what that means. Who are the rulers? Who's the rulers? Van Jones is a ruler, right? The ruler is just not the king. The rulers is those people that we give authority to. What does it say? When thou sittest to eat with the ruler, consider diligently what is before thee, and put a knife to thy throat, if thou be a man given appetite. Be not desirous of his dainties, for they are deceitful. AKA, let me tell you what it means right now, what I'm talking about. We are sitting at the table of rulers. Those is blue checks, right? And we need to consider what is before thee. We should put a knife to our throat if we be a person given to appetite, meaning that we are eating all the shit that these people are selling to us. Be not desirous of his dainties, for they are deceitful. We are deceived by our rulers. We are deceived by our blue checks. Wasn't it all about a Birkin bag before? Huh? You talk like putting that on a working man? Huh? And then if his lady is deceived and got a big appetite on that bullshit, she's gonna put pressure on her working man, husband, or boyfriend to get her a damn purse. And if he can't do it, he's less than. You see? Mm-hmm. Fellas, you ain't no damn different. Your rulers are them IG girls with the monkeys open like that. Your rulers are, what did you say? What y'all say in the song? Long hair, don't care. That's what y'all like, right? Y'all say that men are visual, right? And you want women that look a certain type of way, right? You even gonna leave the country for women. Ah. In this case, sir, your ruler is your desires. Your ruler is your eyes. When now sittest to eat with a ruler, consider diligent what is before thee, and put a knife to thy throat if thou be a man given appetite. Be not desirous of his dainties, for they are deceitful. My passport brethren, right? Your ruler are them foreign prostitutes, man. You getting all the submission in the world, huh? Even though you're not a stand-up dude. That should tell you something right there. Even though you haven't studied to show thyself approved, that should tell you something right there. So a person is submitting to you, right? And you ain't 10 toes on, with no integrity. You ain't 10 toes on nothing higher than you. People are submitting to you and you haven't even taught them. They're not even students of yours. That should tell you something right there. But you ain't tripping off that because you getting what you need, right? You're fixed, right? But be not desirous of his dainties, for they are deceitful. The topic of today is how to divorce negative thoughts and marry new ideals. These are negative thoughts. The trauma tricksters give us negative thoughts. These blue checks give us negative thoughts. These social media personalities give us negative thoughts. And they are the rulers. You know how I know they are the rulers? Because when you go to the average content creators page, they are talking about these people and what these people are doing. They're talking about these people's divorces. They're talking about these people's scandals. They're talking about these people's lives. Therefore, they are the rulers. Right? Consider diligently what is before thee. That means look at what's going on. Consider it. And it says, put a knife to thy throat if thou be a man given the appetite. That means we're eating all this up. You know how many people is tuned in to Karen Civil and Joyner Lucas? You ain't even in the music business. We eating that up. Now you got an opinion on Karen Civil, you don't even know her. Right? Be not desirous of his dainties, for they are deceitful. We have dysfunctional agreements. Where we at in life is based on agreement. Where we at in life is not based on no systematic nothing. That is based on our appetite for deceit. We love it, right? We stand by it. We endorse it and we promote it. And when somebody comes and challenges those ideals, they actually become our enemy. We take a quick break real quick. Don't go nowhere. Make sure you like and share the video, right? We will be right back. I'm going to get a drink and we'll finish out strong. This is Coin Game.
Stop hanging around, y'all, cause niggas like you be praying on my downfall. Hoping I flop, hoping I stop. You probably even hope I get locked or be on the street corner with a pipe smoking a rock. I got more riches than you, fuck more bitches than you. Only thing I haven't got is more stitches than you. Fucking punk, you ain't a leader, what? Nobody followed you. You was never shit. Your mother should've swallowed you. You on some tag along, flung the yes man shit. Do me a favor, please get off the next man dick. And if you think I can't fuck with whoever, put some money up. Put your Jews up, no fucking put your honey up. Put your raggedy house up, nigga, or shut your mouth up before I buck lead and make a lot of bloodshed. Turn your tux red, I'm far from broke, got enough bread. And mad hoes, ask Beavis, I get nothing but head. My game is vicious and cruel, fucking chicks is a rule. If my girl think I'm loyal, then that bitch is a fool. How come? You can listen listen to my first album and tell where a lot of niggas got their whole style from. So what you acting for? You ain't half as raw. You need to practice more. Somebody tell this nigga, son, before I crack his jaw. You running with boys, I'm running with men. I'ma be ripping the mics until I'm 110. Had them niggas like, damn, but this nigga done it again.
Damn, this nigga done it again. Welcome back. What I want to talk right now is thought auditing. I want to apply the who, what, when, where, and why to thoughts, right? And I want you to practice this as well. Think about your thoughts, right? Today on a paper, and I want you to be honest with self. Think about who your thoughts are about. So that's the who. When you think a thought, who is it about? Is it about you? Right? Or it is about the world, what other people are doing, right? You are you a person that really cares if people are waking up or not? Like, what does that even mean? Right? Do you care if people are waking up? Right? Who are your thoughts about? Is it about your ex? Is it about your mom? Who is it about? Is it about the babies? Well, thinking about you is thinking about the babies. So I don't want to talk about the babies. But who are your thoughts about? And if you be honest and just let and get in a flow state and put the pen to the paper, you'll be surprised on who your thoughts are about. Because it guaranteed it's not about you and what you want, right? And how you think and how you function. So that's the who. This is thought auditing. All right. You got the who. Who are your thoughts about? Then we have the what. What is the purpose of the thoughts that you're thinking? So basically, why? What would you like the outcome of the thought to be? Right? And we know this, we don't think about this is because we blurt out dumb shit, especially when it's quiet. People just start talking, right? Rhetorical questions, or they just start saying things. And then when you ask, what does that mean? None, I'm none. So that means that throughout our day, we have a lot of BS filled in our heads and it ain't about nothing, right? So who are your thoughts about? And then what is the purpose of the thought that you're thinking? Have a goal in mind for the thought, right? Okay, I'm thinking about listening to a meditation a video on YouTube. Why? Because I would like to get more in meditation, or I just came home from a long day and I'm trying to relax. There's a purpose for the thought that you're thinking. Don't just have things in your head for no reason. What's the purpose? Okay, who's the thought about, and what is the purpose of the thought, and when? When is the last time your thoughts gave you a positive outcome? Now, this is what you have to put on paper. When was the last time what you were thinking gave you a positive outcome? Now, when I'm saying positive outcome, I'm not talking about a dopamine rush, right? When I'm saying positive outcome, I am not talking about a feeling. I'm talking about something tangible. Now, also, let me qualify is a bad decision can give you also a positive outcome. What do I mean by that? I've sold dope before, right? And it gave me a positive outcome, but that was a bad decision, right? Playing the lottery is a bad decision that could give you a positive outcome, right? So that's decisions. But let's slow walk it for a second. Just do the first part. When was the last time that your thoughts gave you a positive outcome? Then later, look at the decision made to get the outcome. Was it positive or negative? Because you can also make positive decisions that give you a negative outcome, like telling the truth. Example, Yeah, babe, you know what I'm saying? I just want to keep it real with you. Yeah, I got some pussy last night. that's a that's a good decision that might give you an outcome that you don't like. But in all seriousness, when was the last time your thoughts gave you a positive outcome? Then later, you can decide if the decision was a good decision or bad decision to make, right? Where where is your thoughts gonna take you? Okay. So the thing that you're thinking about the most, that's on your mind. A lot of people have anxiety, right? They're thinking just where is it gonna take you? Is it going to take you to the poorhouse? Is it going to take you to the brothel? Is it going to take you to the bank? Is it going to take you to the bookstore or go further? Right? Is it going to take you to an early grave? Is it going to take you to the psych ward? You're thinking about something constantly. Okay. If we was to attach legs to the thought and tell it to walk, what direction would it go in? Then you could start chunking down and saying, how long would it take you there? Right? If you're thinking about tricking, how long is it going to take before you go broke? Right? If you're thinking about stripping, how long is it going to take you till you get your number that you're looking for? Whatever's going on with your life, how or where is the thought going to take you? Because our thoughts are the vehicles where the body is going to go wherever the mind takes it. So, whatever you're thinking right now, where are you going? Right? So, is the thought that you're thinking right now going to take you to my Cash App? Right? The things that you're thinking right now, where is it going to take you? Is it going to take you to my Cash App? Is it going to take you to my hotline, 888-565-8734? I suggest you think about some shit that take you cash. I'm playing, but I'm not. Why are you thinking what you're thinking? So we applied the who, what, when, where, and why to our thinking. Why am I thinking this? What is the hold? What is the attachment that I have to my ideals? Now, here's where guarding your eyes and your ears come from. We're grown. We already know. When you eat and you drink stuff, there's a toilet bowl for that. We use the bathroom, right? Cool. But there is no toilet bowl for the things we see and the things we hear. So why we're thinking certain things, that comes, right? That comes from listening to shit. I'll be honest with you. I give myself a C for this year. I want to end the year strong, but I want to be honest with you. I give myself a C. I turned into a lot of bullshit content. I've listened to a lot of YouTube channels that I should have ignored. I made myself available, dysfunctional agreement, right? I made myself available to hear things that did not benefit me per se. You know what? It was easy listening. I was doing the dishes and I might have wanted to laugh, right? But here's what happened. My YouTube started recommending me other stuff. And now I'm down the rabbit hole. Now I am listening to YouTube videos of people talking about other people. Now, one thing for sure, two things for certain. I might do a video here and there about a person, but it's more about their ideals. But why talk about somebody? Why talk about somebody else when I could talk about me? Why create a YouTube page to talk about other people when you could talk about you? So why we think what we think, right? Why we think what we think comes from hearing things and seeing things. Remember, there's no toilet bowl for the things that come in our eyes and ears. So we got to guard our eyes and ears. And you know what? I would like to end my year strong. And I would love for you guys to end your year strong too. So for October, November, and December, I'm guarding my eyes and ears, y'all. I probably ain't gonna know about a lot of the effery that's going on in the culture or whatever, unless it really penetrates into something I need to discuss. Because I have these things in my head, and I'm like, damn, where'd that thought come from? Why am I feeling like that? Like, I believe even I got sick this year because I was listening to other people's garbage, right? So we want to apply the who, what, when, where, and why. Who are your thoughts about? What is the purpose of the thought? When is the last time your thoughts gave you a positive outcome, and where is your thoughts going to take you? Why are you thinking what you're thinking, right? And if you could do these in steps, it would be dope, because then you would get to positive suicide. There's a aspect of suicide, the concept that is very positive, and that is the killing off of our old self. Do you know I'll be 40 in 3 years, right? And at 40, I never want to say, well, this is just how I am. Especially if me saying this is just how I am is having a negative effect on other people. And it has me coming in last place, and it has me the weakest link, right? We are totally fine being the person that is coming in last place. Well, I ain't trying to change for nobody. I don't care what a person thinks, right? We're so used to that, right? And we hold on and we fight for a bunch of shit that is not important, all to have this identity that I'm strong and I'm man, kill that. The way that you kill yourself is through positive suicide, and all that means is getting rid of a thought. It's basically divorcing. Thought divorcing. What that means is see this thing conceptually, right? To divorce the thought, it comes to your mind, right? You can't stop that. This is why it's important to guard your eyes and your ears. Not your mind, but your brain. It can be anything. And you're like, man, I want to get that out of my head, right? So what you do is imagine yourself sitting at the table and you're putting the thought down, right? So the book is my thought. So I'm putting the book down, and now I audit, right? So the same thought audit that we did, you do the same thing, but now you can conceptually visualize the thought. You see it. It's right there. You apply to who? Who is this about? What is the purpose of this? When is the last time thinking like this got me the things I wanted? If I continue to think this, where is it going to take me? And why am I thinking this? You want to hold it. You want to do an experiment on it as if you're in science class. You want to look at it, right? It has weight to it. Remember, thoughts are things. What kind of things? Right? So just imagine that these thoughts are in your hands. These thoughts about trauma, these thoughts about things that happened to you when you were a child, these thoughts that uh, 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 gave you a negative experience. Put those thoughts in your hand and really, really ask yourself, do I need this shit? Hey, for real, if I was to ask y'all, if I could erase the ideals of slavery to you or oppression, right, from your mind, and if I did, you would be a millionaire, right? Or you can keep them and hold on to that, and however you turn out, you turn out. I guarantee you people would be like, money ain't everything. You know, if you don't know where you're going, if you don't know where you've been, you don't know where you're going. You're going to hold on to that, because that is what identity. That's important, right? But if I could give you amnesia and erase the thought completely, we do way too much time, or spend way too much time telling people where we came from. Every story of a person that looks like me, they always have to, yeah, my dad left. It's this black woman redemption story. This black, yeah, I came home from jail. Why can't it just be a bunch of people that come from good families? And they went to school and they worked hard, and that's where they're at. But those stories don't sell. It has to be something messed up with the person, right? But if I told you that, you know what, we can get rid of those thoughts completely, do you know how many people will fight me on that, to hold on to those ideals and to hold on to those thoughts? And that will tell you that people actually don't want to get better. They want to stay where they're at and live in that. I don't. So I practice every day to divorce certain things. I don't got it to a science. Things still come to my mind that I don't need, but I practice. Let me look at this thought. I want to divorce this thought and remarry new thoughts because I want to be transformed. Can we be transformed? Certainly. Romans 12:2. And do not be conformed to this world. Be transformed by renewing your mind. It does not say reparations will transform you. It does not say that legislation will transform you, or getting a husband or getting a wife or some money or none of that. Be transformed by renewing your mind. You see what these have in common? If you hold my teaching, you are really my disciples, then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. The key to freedom is through the mind. All is mental. Do not be conformed of the world. What is the world? The world and the earth are not the same thing. The world is other people's minds. Do not be conformed by other people's minds or to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your own damn mind. Many people practice a interesting form of procrastination. They don't do what they need to do, but they are in a campaign to try to change other people's minds. It says, be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is good and acceptable and perfect and perfect the will of God. It doesn't say the collective. It doesn't say my people. It says, do not be conformed to this world, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And I know you haven't been taught to be selfish with things like that, with your own healing and your own personal development. You think that everybody can go, but that ain't how it goes, right? The renewing of your mind, right? Your mind, fam. Your mind, beloved. The renewing of your mind. So look, so the topic is the divorce negative thoughts and marry new ideals. So the new ideals that we talked about, that can be the 9 ways of thinking, right? If you inherit those 9 ways of thinking and apply those 9 ways of thinking to all the situations in your life, right? Man, you and your lady go through it. You and your man go through it. There's not one way how to respond that, right? But you don't use your feelings for conversations. Your feelings are to know where your child is at without them. You just know, right? But it doesn't go into conversation. So I posted the link in the chat to go check out that article of 9 ways of thinking, and use those 9 ways as a navigation, right? And you don't have to commit to one of those, right? It's not either or. Look at the situation and you memorize those, and then you think about the thought that you'll use for that particular scenario, right? And do not be conformed to this world. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. If you renew your mind, you can't say you have trauma. If you renew your mind, you are not oppressed. If you renew your mind, you are protected. I don't never want to hear no damn black women are unprotected. Not if you have renewed your mind, right? That is the thinking of a slave, right? And we don't do slavery over here, right? So if you a man, I don't want to hear, feminism is doing none of that. None of that. You are in the world right now and life is happening around you. Has nothing to do with you. Respond, right? Respond, right? And you do that by not being of this world, but being transformed by being renewed with your mind. not the collective, not the brothers, not the sisters, none of that. Remember, this is Coin Gang Ministries, a ministry of abstract thinking and out the box philosophies, and most important, a number one place for personal development. So, you guys have a good time. You got it? Got some replay value? Cool. So when I come to your pages, I should see the video shared everywhere, right? And if you are on YouTube, I would like more people to comment, but members only, right? Members only, right? And if you are on Facebook, it's a little symbol right there on the bottom right. And that's the monthly membership. At this point, I done gave away hella game, so I should be good for it. But it's cool though, right? Because we're gonna keep talking to those people that want to listen, right? So catch me while I'm here. But in all seriousness, keep your babies close, take your time with each other, and remember this, y'all. Some superheroes really do have crazy powers. I mean, they shoot lightning out their eyes. Batman got tools. Superman is from Krypton, and he's strong. I just got waves. This is Coin Gang, Ken Billions. Y'all take it easy.
Billions game, it's like, remember we was all back in high school? Some of you may be still in high school or whatever, but follow me. We had the regular class, and then you had honors class. And I feel like Ken Billions game is nothing but honors class. Everything that you learned in life and been through in life, or whatever he's talking about at that certain time, point of reference, game for guys. Everybody learn game from somebody and this and that, and it's all over the place. But once I listened to Game for Guys, it was like being in an honors class. Ken is a brilliant guy. I still listen to him to this day. Listen to him almost every other day. And I stay studying, and if I look at his video and he's giving us homework, I'm gonna look through that video. I'm gonna write my notes down. I'm gonna do my homework. Then I'm gonna watch the next video. I mean, you just can't get enough of the game and the knowledge that this brother brings to you. He's allowed me to look back into history, my own history. I found out about black people that I never even knew about, black millionaires and people like that. Recently, I learned about the reticular activating system, and that's something that I'm studying up on as we speak, which I plan on reprogramming myself. You know what I'm saying? So overall, the Ken Billions game has done a lot for me. It's allowed me to elevate as a man, as a father. It just allowed me to be more excited about life and not be in the program of being oppressed. And that's one of the main things for me that I have to say that this game has done for me. And I'm so glad that I ran across it.